Hey guys, I'm here with Space Lasers.
Hi.
Hey.
And we're here to talk about Inverse Midas Touch, their latest single. So, what is an inverse Midas touch? Can anybody explain this?
It's when everything you touch turns to shit.
Easy enough.
Yeah, you heard about
Easy
this?
enough.
Yeah. Lyrically, yes, that's kind of what it's about. But we'll get to that. But yeah, I'm very proud of this song.
Who is the primary
Except that you
writer
hate
on this one?
the vocal performance on it.
Yeah, I
you
hate
said.
the vocal performance, but hey, you can't win them all.
Who is the primary writer on this one?
Andrew?
Me, yeah. So this was the first song that I wrote for the band, and it was my first attempt at trying to write something that fit with what these guys wanted to do. So I felt like, I'm able to do this. I'm able to write in this style and like have it work. So
I'd say by far it's our most rock and roll tune.
Yeah.
On the album.
It is. I think it feels more rock and roll when we play it live. The tempo's a touch faster, and on the album it's like a little slower, but it really works because we think we just kind of are really locked in tight. And sometimes live we're flying by the seat of our pants. But yeah, I think this song, I wanted to do something that was like kind of the Chili Peppers, kind of Police, kind of our own like kind of bluesy, funky thing.
Yeah. So as the songwriter, would you consider yourself Midas? Like, was that the...
So yeah, I kind of go back and forth. So that's, again, I'm not totally pleased. I know that I've seen a lot of interviews by songwriters who have songs that people love and they're still like, nah, I don't think I knocked it out of the park on that one.
Yeah.
So I feel okay saying, I don't think I knocked it out of the park on this one, but if maybe other people will feel differently. But I feel like lyrically, songs I was inspired by, oddly enough, before it became a big hit from Stranger Things, Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush was lyrical inspiration on this, as was If I Was Your Girlfriend by Prince. And I feel like the bridge, you can hear that because it's all about seeing things from somebody else's perspective. So Running Up That Hill, Kate Bush says, if I could make a deal with God, I'd get him to swap our places. And it's so, the whole idea of that song is that men and women can never really fully understand each other. So it would be nice to spend a day in your partner's shoes so you could truly understand, because there's no way you could, even as close as two people can get, you can't really fully understand them.
Yeah.
And same thing with Prince. It's like, I wish that I could be one of your girlfriends so you could confide in me all the things you don't feel close enough with me to share because I'm a man. But yeah, in the bridge of this song, I do feel like lyrically I got what I wanted out of this, where it's about, if you could step into my shoes, what could I do to make things right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And going to that bridge, it gets a little wild in there. You guys get into that, rock and roll element of it, right?
Yeah.
That I think you were striving for originally. Tell me about how that came together.
Oh man, that's all Tom. Tom just,
Yeah, I saw that as like a canvas for just being weird with synth and like big delayed out guitars and like just making it kind of a, I don't know, like a soundscape, and not so melodic, a little bit of melody, but for the most part, just like it just turns into this big washy synthy thing.
Yeah.
And it's really, I like it. I think it's one of my favorite, 30 seconds on the record. It's up there.
And I'd say the same thing for Mike and I in the bass and drum groove during that section. It's really locked in. There's this moment where we're doing this like triplet fill together and it's synced up, and whenever we nail that live, I'm like, yes. And it's not always perfect live, but on the record it's perfect. Yeah,
it's always hard to transition from like what the song is, like almost like the rockiest tune, almost straight ahead rock vibe, to that like 4 on the floor, very, I wouldn't necessarily call it such staccato, but very like intentional for like the licks in that bridge section. So it's always fun getting there, and it's always like, all right, focus on what you're doing. Like your foot's gonna be tired after this. But.
Yeah.
But then it goes from that into the final outro, and again the line
Callback of sorts.
Yeah, the little line we go ba-da, ba-da, ba-da. That's supposed to be like an old school like jazz horn line, and I think, it sounds so great on the record. I'm really happy with how that turned out. Yeah.
So that was one of the first songs you wrote for Space Lasers.
Yes.
So when you guys heard it for the first time, still getting to know Andrew, what were your first impressions?
I mean, I remember thinking, yeah, this is gonna work out because it just had all these like kind of crazy parts, and for me, it was kind of it's an athletic song to play, so it's like challenging, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be cool, you know, like because I actually, it's one of 2 songs of ours that when we play live, I'm always really nervous about it because like I don't know if this is gonna work or not, you know.
Well, it's also the when you transition from keys to piano, and that's always excuse me, keys to guitar, and that's always difficult. What I can't remember is when you initially either shared the song like via like a an audio file, or if you played it live.
Play it live.
I don't think the intro to the guitar lick was that dirty. Was it? I can't remember.
So initially, when we started playing this, I was on guitar, and Tom switched over to bass, and it was dirty, but that's how we had played it. And I was trying to like figure it out. And I write a lot on guitar. Obviously, it's like you can write really dense harmonies on guitar and bass. It's a pain in the butt to do since it's a low register instrument. So, but I've kind of enjoyed like. I can play guitar, but I've kind of enjoyed not playing guitar in this band because Tom can more than handle anything I'll throw at him, and then I get to write something on guitar and then have it transformed into a beautiful piano part, or have it duplicated on guitar. But then it was nice. I think that as soon as we switched over from me playing guitar on the song and had Tom play keys and guitar on it, it's like, oh, now this is a song. Before it was just a riff, and it became a song.
Well, that was a big surprise to me. Just the grittiness of that intro in comparison to everything we probably either heard or had shared at the time. So, but a very cool tune.
Yeah. Well, go check it out. It's Inverse Midas Touch on Spotify and wherever you get your music.
Thanks, Ashley.
Thanks, Ashley.
Thanks, all.